he was waiting for ICT to reply and confirm that they will not be going to Kericho. They allow him to come to this committee. I think that's what I heard you say. Since he didn't get the response, therefore he opted to write to us to seek an adjournment. I think that's what
Senator Cherargei has introduced another dimension, which
you are going to different.
He has introduced another dimension.
I got Senator Cherargei very well.
Senator Dulo?
Chair, listening to the governor and Senator Cherargei, cheating, if I may use that word, I don't know whether it's parliamentary, or lying. ICT, creating an excuse that he was appearing before ICT and appearing before Public Accounts Committee, and he opted to miss both committees, which makes him liable for lying to the Senate committee. So I think there is no excuse here.
Can I then
Chair, on an exception, Chair, before we... Chair, we need to be clear on some things. I think that the way government responds to it...
Governor, it will make your life easier if you listen to us. Senator Gachagua.
You know the dilemma, if I'm getting the governor right, is when he didn't get the reply from the ICT committee. You know, the committee on ICT, the governor expected them to reply that now that you are going to attend Park, then you were not coming. So he kept on waiting for both the ICT, and then he got confused up. I think that is what the governor is trying to do.
Okay, so let's do this because we compel the governor to appear, not to have this conversation, but to look at the money that has been sent to Kericho. But as to that doubt that is cropping up, as to whether the governor is saying the truth under oath, I want the clerks, particularly our legal officer and the legal officer in the ICT committee, look at that correspondence that Senator Cherargei is referring to. Because if it is genuine, then it introduces a very, very material evidence that can point towards perjury. People have been used to taking the oath, lifting the Bible, and saying their own things. If you are to find that someone committed perjury in this instance, I think it would be very, very important for us to push for prosecution. I think we all take judicial notice that even in the impeachment proceedings of Kericho, there could have been certain concerns around whether people were saying the truth and nothing but the truth under oath. But we are not going to go there. That's a matter that the Senate has already discharged. In the present instance, we'll just need to be satisfied that you have given us an explanation that is truthful. We shall look at those correspondences, and if there's any doubt that crops up, then Governor will have to call you again. Honorable members, could we then now look at the numbers with that rider? Yeah, so clerks, when we are doing our report on Kericho, we must also get a brief on the veracity of submissions that were made by the governor.
Can I table the letter? I already tabled to the...
I would, that's why I've directed the clerk of this committee and that of ICT,
yes,
because I saw the one that you shared. Yes. It doesn't have a date. It doesn't have a timestamp.
No, so it has a date. It is on 19 November 2025. It has 19 November 2025.
Oh, it has the relevant stamps of the clerk of the Senate.
Yeah. Maybe the clerks can...
So just share.
Yes.
Then the clerks, the technical people can review. And if Governor Mutai becomes the first casualty to be prosecuted under the perjury law, then that would be a precedent, because I don't think anyone has been prosecuted or convicted for perjury. And yet in the UK, a prime minister was forced to resign because of perjury. Was that Boris? That was Boris. So it is a serious offense. But let's leave it at that. Let's go to the books of accounts.
Chair, to leave it just on a record, Chair, the standard procedure of responses is formal letters written as correspondence. And so I leave it at that point that we didn't receive a formal response from the Committee of ICT declining or accepting. I received from you 2 letters and another one resigning the other one and summoning me to be here. And I've appeared here in full.
That's good enough. Leave the rest to us. Auditor General, the report on County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30th June 2024. The governor already appeared before this committee. I think he appeared in that duration. It could have been February or March this year. We made recommendations that were adopted by the House. Today, our job is to follow up on whether he has implemented what was recommended by the Senate. Now that you have reported to us that you have gone through this report, how many of our recommendations have been implemented by the governor, starting with the main executive report?
Thank you, Chair. The county government of Kericho has implemented only one recommendation, and one recommendation is partially implemented. Thank you.
Only one out of a totality of... Do you have a count of the issues that they were supposed to address?
Okay. Chair, there are 23 issues as per the report of the Auditor General.
And only one was resolved?
Yeah, and one was partially resolved.
One. To describe yourself as an E-student. This is a follow-up, and to date that expenditure has not been supported. Members, what kind of solution do we have? What can we prescribe beside asking the EACC to deal with the matters?
Chair.
If there are procurement irregularities, and we made recommendations, and those recommendations have not been implemented, what more can the Senate do beside asking investigative agencies to take up the matters? Senator Cherarke, is there any other mitishamba we can apply?
No. Chair, even dawa ya kienyeji. Chair, as a student now, when I was in class of law of evidence, when there is no documentation, it is as good as if there is no documentation. And therefore, Chair, if the supporting documents like travel management meeting, the draft letter, the draft report, there is also management meeting where all these issues has been risen. Even the governor appeared at some instances before this committee. We gave time of further documentation, but it has not been availed. So when there is no documentation to fix or to explain, Chair, I recommend that the EACC should move with speed. Because even if cooking was to happen, it did not happen. So investigate, because when there is no documentation, it is as good as guilty, Chair. Because that's how you alleviate. And Chair, looking at Article 229 of the Constitution, when Parliament considers a report, we give the second bite to the cherry to the governor or any entity appearing before us to try and tell us, since the insurance documentation was not there, it was there but it had been misplaced, then the matter would have been put under consideration before report writing. So, Chair, as I yield the mic back, I think we don't need to belabor, waste a lot of time. Let those matters be referred to EACC and other relevant investigative agencies to deal with the matter, and of course the consequences will follow suit. I yield back.
Can we pick one example so that it can demonstrate what we are struggling with? An example of unsupported expenditure, so that this can also be a learning exercise for the team that has come with.
Yeah, the one for foreign travel. Yeah, the one for foreign travel
And subsistence.
and subsistence
Yeah,
is fairly straightforward, Chair, because
straightforward.
this is something that is alleged to have happened. And a very simple thing. How you earn subsistence allowance is you're traveling for official duty. And that figure is quite astounding. 775,425,914. The amount includes foreign travels and subsistence totaling 15,598,000 as disclosed in Note 4 to the financial statement. These even include components, payment amounting to 5.7 million paid to individuals for foreign travel which were not supported by boarding passes or copies of passports and back to office reports. I mean, this is such a simple and straightforward matter. I don't know why the county will struggle to provide such. And Mr. Chairperson, given that you have provided sufficient time and they haven't, because the report fingers actually individuals. There are people who are said to have received the money, but there is no evidence that they ever left their station of duty. That's where you need to start. Follow the trail.
I think this is a very good example where we had made recommendations for administrative action and recommendations for investigations. So it could be a very good case study of how to deal with the other issues. Senator Omoge.
Yeah, Chair. The other offense may be on some officers, but there was a specific recommendation that the governor takes administrative action against the officers that were involved. Has he taken any action against those officers? And how long does it take for him to take action? If 775 million is unaccounted for, he was here in March, we asked him to take administrative action. Why hasn't he taken that action?
Very good. So we are going to put that to the governor. Vice Chair, you wanted to raise something on that?
No, I think the governor can respond first, then we see how it
So for avoidance of doubt, maybe the auditor will read the finding so that it is someone does not think that the senator from Kericho is the one who came up with it. So read your finding, the clerk will read our recommendation, and then the governor will tell us what he has done to implement that recommendation. Because the way we deal with this will affect how we deal with others. And I've seen the manner in which he has responded to this is similar to the rest of the issues. It lacks the substance that accounts for the money. It has a story that corrects in future, but not one that ensures that that money is accounted for. So let's do this properly. Auditor, you read what you found. Clerk of the Senate, you read what we recommended. Governor, you respond. And then we shall see whether your response is satisfactory.
Thank you, Chair. Unsupported foreign travel and subsistence. The statement of receipts and payments reflects use of goods and services amounting to 775,425,914. The amount includes foreign travel and subsistence totaling 15,598,720 as disclosed in Note 4 to the financial statements. This component includes payments amounting to 5,706,604 paid to individuals for foreign travel which were not supported by boarding passes or copies of passports and back to office reports. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the expenditure of 5.7 million could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Clerk, what did the House recommend?
The committee came here even as a response, Chair. It was indicated that 7 issues were resolved and 7 issues were partially resolved, making 14 when we appeared here. Today, the narrative is shifting, Chair, that only 1 issue was resolved. But since I don't want to go there, Chair, let me just respond to...
Yeah, please just come to this...
let me just go because...
Just go to this.
Let me just go to this because it's getting a bit confusing every minute. Now, the county government, Honorable Chairman, the county government acknowledges the committee's observations and recommendations regarding the unsupported foreign travel and subsidence expenditure amounted to Kenya shillings 5,786,604 and appreciates the committee's continued care in general due to delays in document retrieval from the respective departments. However, management has since taken corrective measures to ensure that all travel-related documentations is properly maintained and verified prior to payment and audit review. To address the committee's concerns and implement lasting corrective action, the following measures have been put in place. Number 1, implementation of the standard operating procedure SOPs on foreign travel and subsistence. The county government has developed and implemented comprehensive standard operating procedure SOPs governing authorization, documentations, and accounting for both local and foreign travel. The SOPs stipulate that no travel-related payment or surrender will be processed without complete supporting documents, including travel approvals, invitation letters, air tickets, boarding passes, and back-to-office reports.
Governor, sorry, just to allow us to move fast,
yes,
we could say we adopt your response, and unless you want to read to the end. It's
not Chair, under your guidance, Chair.
So we could adopt your response.
Yes, Chair.
And then now just put it directly to you.
Yes, Chair.
This 687,000 that was remaining. So the figure is no longer 700 million. It is no longer 5.7 million. It is 600,000.
Yeah, the revenue officers have already submitted the documents for the same, Chair. And
where is that in this response that you brought to us today?
Maybe it was an oversight of the team which was preparing this.
Maybe
Chair.
My colleagues have seen it, Vice Chair.
Yeah, Chair. My reading of this query and the observation of the committee is that during the time of audit, the documents were not provided. But later on, after the audit, these documents must have been provided, and that's why, as a committee, we made a finding that the infraction is late provision of documents.
And if you agree with us that you could not explain it, then let's just leave it to EACC.
Honorable Chair, let me ask
they have the means of recovering that.
Let me ask the accountant to the director accounts to respond to that, Chair.
Chair,
the
director accounts to respond to that, Chair.
Chair, can I?
Senator Chirake first.
Chair, you know, in the response of the governor, he agrees with the findings. And in fact, in paragraph 2, talking about certain supporting documents, and he agrees that there was a delay. But instead of saying provision has been made for these documents, he goes ahead and says there are corrective measures. You are paid. I thought that is the SOP that is with government in everywhere. So the question is, the governor should tell us where are these passports, boarding passes. These are things you can print. Chair, we should not even be discussing. You can just go, if you use Emirates, if you use KQ, you just go to their website, print out the passport, unless these people do not travel.
Failure to which it is recovered from them.
Correct.
You know,
and plus interest.
Those are the administrative measures that we are looking for. That there were no boarding passes for 600,000, but you have started a recovery. I mean, it's as easy as that.
And then number 2, on administrative action, it does not mean necessarily you fire somebody. Even if the governor had given us a warning letters to these officers who were supposed to provide documentation as per public auditor, would have been sufficient.
Or a circular, or a memo.
Or a memo, or naming out, or calling out those officers who should have done their work.
So, Governor, you understand?
Yeah, Chair. As an explanation of that effect.
Okay, where's the accountant?
Fernandez here.
Yeah, please be precise on the 687,000, as well as administrative action.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. When we received the audit report, we prepared the responses, the written responses as directed by this committee. And the committee made recommendations and the 687,000 which remained. When we were required to appear before this committee, that was in June, we submitted another set of documents to the Office of the Auditor General, and subject to confirmation, this 687,860 was fully supported. And Honorable Chair, and this issue, when we appeared before this committee in June, was resolved, one of the 7 issues which were resolved. Thank you.
Remember, we didn't substantively go into the issues. We just asked headline, which issues are resolved. We didn't drill into it, because I was the one who was chairing this meeting. So, OAG, is it a fact that this 687 has already been explained? From a financial perspective?
Yes, Chairman. There is the amount of 687, that one was resolved from the examination of report of the Auditor General stage.
Please, because when we took this report to the House, it followed a substantive audit, it followed submission of documentation, it even followed a physical appearance. Remember, the governor appeared before us before we took this report to the House. So at what point did the boarding passes come up? Were they being cooked?
No, Chairman. They looked genuine.
You have the capacity.
Chair, no, OAG, that's embarrassing. It cannot. If you are the ones who are to authenticate the documentation, then why are you telling us it looks genuine? What is the difference with what is happening in River Road?
I think OAG, just be careful so that you know you're the prosecutor. So that you don't sound like an advocate for the client.
Chair, and the point is, if they were looking for this, and look at the response from the governor, this documentation you are looking in that audit were never provided. How then is it resolved now?
Now,
Chair, if you look at our recommendation, which was 60 days, the OAG should be telling us they were boarding passes provided, copies of passport, where they stamp entry and exit to where they are traveling to, which is easy to audit.
Chair, given the uncertainty on this matter, I'd request that you stay with your earlier direction, that this matter be checked to its logical conclusion. Because I've never interacted with the gentleman from OAG, but I'm not very certain that what he's telling me gives me the confidence on behalf of the people that I represent here that what he's saying is accurate and true. Because 1 minute he says, yes, it is sorted, but then that is verbally. Then, Chair, why I'm concerned by this matter is an information that, and Governor, you are fully aware about this, that we have a serious problem in our county where reports sometimes of county assembly have fingered some of the officers and saying these documents, the authenticity could not be confirmed. That is why in government institutions, such as even, and what we're asking the county to do is not strange, it is what we do here in Parliament. When I travel, if I don't file my returns, it is recovered from my next month's salary. And your CEC, Rob, you've been a member of Parliament, you know this, that this is such a serious matter. It's not a small issue. If you recall, CC Rob, one of your colleagues in the run-up to 2017 elections lost his seat just on account. I still want to request that you stick to your earlier proposal, unless the OAG can give us in writing that commitment that he is certain this has been properly addressed. Otherwise, the way he fidgeted with his answer initially did not give me the confidence.
Chair, point of information. I remember there was a MCS, was it Makwiny or Kitui, who were being financed. There was no clarity on this surrender, and the EACC went ahead and recovered. I don't know whether they were 3. So it looks similar. This is the similar situation.
That was Makwiny. Senator Alilegwe?
I think it was Makwiny.
Senator Alilegwe?
Chair, on the auditor's observations, yes, of the foreign travel and subsistence expenditure amounting to was not confirmed. So I don't know what telling us again that this expenditure was fully supported. I don't know whether we should rely on what they have put on record here or what they are giving us orally.
So with all these doubts that are coming up, and remember we are still dealing with 600,000 out of a huge total budget of almost 8 billion, we therefore retain our earlier recommendation. This matter remains unresolved, and Auditor, when a matter is unresolved, we expect we will find it in the next audit cycle. Can we get that assurance?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, but also because of the doubts that are coming up, we will substitute DCI with EACC. So then EACC be seized of this matter. If those boarding passes were indeed submitted to the OAG, I think you are the ones with the tools to establish authenticity. I think the OAG sometimes looks at things at face value, but you can go much deeper on this.
Just a question, Chair, sorry to take you back. I'd asked earlier in my submission to know what are these now new SOPs that the governor said we have implemented. Even just a brief highlight for my comfort and for the comfort of the committee, just to be sure that we don't run into this again, even as we check.
Governor?
Chair, as we welcome EACC. Annex 3. Annex 3 of the standard operations that we have put, and one of them that is the county government of Kericho. I don't know if my senator is already there. Yeah. Okay, my senator. So, Chairman, Annex 3 gives us the financial policy and procedural manuals. What is that? So we've just picked in a few guidelines. For example, invoices. The one. Oh, surrender procedure, page 28, Chairman. So, interest must be accounted for within 48 hours of completion of the activity and must only be spent for the intended activities. And if not accounted for or surrendered in 48 hours, it will be treated as a staff debt and recovered from the salary of the applicant. That is one of the procedures we have put in place here. B, applicant returns unutilized funds to the cash office and receipt is issued for over expenditure. The interest holder must receive authorization from the relevant accounting officer where the excess over the interest is material. Additional authorization must be received from the head of that department. The interest surrender must be accompanied by the requisite supporting documents detailed in section 13.1.5 below, which should be stamped, paid. C, the accountant examines the interest surrender for completeness and accuracy, and if satisfied, the interest surrender is forwarded to the accounting officer for authorization of the actual expenditure. D, the accountant updates the interest control register with the authorized interest surrender cleared against the original warrant. And E, the cashier posts the interest surrender into the cash boot. So some of the measures are in place.
So we can refer to that annexure so that when we are also doing our report, we have the assurance that you have taken action. But you missed a point where the members were asking, did you take action on the officers who failed to provide the documents on time? And is there evidence of anything?
Chair, since the documents had already been presented, like we say, Chairman, we had surrendered or we had submitted documents like twice by June. And since the documents are already there, Chairman, it had not necessitated the kind of situation, but I am much grateful for the advice from the members, and we will be taking care of that as well to the future.
I think you need clear guidance on that. Vice Chair.
This document, the county government of Kericho financial policies and procedures, is not dated. Is not. We don't know when it was adopted, and so
whether it's an operation, As it is, you know, even if they have lifted what is there, we might not know whether this document belongs to the county assembly of, the county government of Kericho or not.
Thank you, Chair.
I think the CAC should be able to explain to us about this particular document.
Chair, I want to confirm to this House that, yes, the SOPs was passed in Cabinet, sitting that was done on 21st of May 2025. I have the record here with me. So this thing was approved by the Cabinet.
Your document shows adopted dash.
Yeah, we just picked a few pages. So there is a full document that is already adopted.
If this document is actually presented as an evidence,
yes,
is it admissible?
It is.
No, it's not. It's not admissible.
Chair, you know, the Waziri was here with us, Rob, and he knows this are quasi-judicial mechanism like the status of
to help
High
me,
Court.
Gerard, he was vice chair for PAC, so he knows very well.
He was the vice chair of PAC, which I was before Maruma. So he knows the game very well. Unless Kamete Ketiokobar governor is
no, I'm not. Sure.
Orders.
I have no bad intentions.
The only languages.
To the
only languages approved here, English, Swahili, and sign language. And your comments do not fall there.
Out of ordinary.
Can you repeat what he said in Kalenjin in English?
No, that's why I was saying unless he wanted to mislead the governor.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Honorable members, it's approaching 5 o'clock. I think the people of Kericho expect us to get to the bottom of this report. We have made many observations on this, and I've said that our recommendation on investigation of the 600 still holds. For the OAG also to ascertain that that 600 was really accounted for, and this matter then must find its way in the subsequent report. Patrick?
Chairman, just to add on what you've said, although you already ruled, this matter is also being followed by the liaison office with the DCI, so that we also want to establish what action DCI has taken on the recommendation made by this committee. And this report is going to come to this committee towards the end of the year. You have also added that the EACC also picks up the matter. So, Chairman, the issue is not lost.
So what you do with your liaison office, if DCI has made progress, then let's leave it there. But if they've not taken any action, then we leave it to EACC. It's easier because EACC has a liaison here.
I agree, Chair.
Yeah, so you can liaise with EACC on that. Now, there are a number of paragraphs. The third paragraph is also unsupported payments for insurance services. 40.9 million was unsupported. We have looked at your response, Governor, and in your response, whereas you have told us some stories around policy, there is nowhere where you have told us that the valuation reports are hereby attached, the required documentation is hereby attached. All you have done is to give us some stories around establishment of an asset management unit and update of your asset valuation register. Where in your response have you satisfied the committee that the valuation reports detailing the cost of insured assets and liabilities have now been provided for audit? Where have you provided the basis of arriving at the insurance cost amounting to 40.9 million? Because that was a query. That was the nucleus of the query. Is there anywhere in your response and your supporting documents where we are able to see those valuation reports and the basis for the 40 million?
Thank you, Chair. Let me ask Accountant Fernandez to respond.
Yeah, just point us to your response where we can get that. The rest are stories, are hygiene factors.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The process of doing valuation is still ongoing. Honorable Chair, we have transitioned to accrual basis of accounting, which requires us to report assets.
Officer,
Yes.
we all take insurance, even if we take third-party insurance. We know that by the time you're paying premium, there is a sum insured. That sum insured has been valued. So don't tell us about the stories about IGRTC. This is specific. You bought insurance cover worth 40.9 million, but the valuation reports were not provided. You know, this is such a simple thing because underwriters do their own valuations. So don't take us into that long story. For a premium of 40.9, where is the valuation of the assets that are being insured? I thought that was a query. Auditor General, am I asking a foreign question?
Exactly, that's what we are asking the query.
Was it provided subsequently?
No.
So, Governor, this is such a simple thing because if you cannot provide it, then we can assume that you are playing games with insurers to inflate your premiums so that your commissions can also be high. So, Officer, can you now give us a better response?
Chair, and the valuation report is important because they arrive at the insurance Kericho County at 40,939,739. So what was the basis of arriving at this if it is not inflating the premiums?
It's really simple.
Yes.
Officer.
And premium is a percentage of the value. So where did they get these 40
How
million?
can you not provide the valuation reports to justify the premium paid?
And which assets were being insured? We don't know the assets that are being insured.
Honorable Chair, thank you. When we were procuring for the insurance services, we provided the list of the assets to be insured, but the cost was based on historical cost. That is the cost of acquisition. We have not done revaluation because it is an ongoing process. And come the subsequent audit cycles, we will be able to, in the establishment of the Asset Management Committee, we have all the officers.
Officer, who is the underwriter for this 40.9 million? Is it one or various?
Trident Insurance.
Trident?
Yes.
What class of insurance is this? Motor, fire, health?
The policies which are covered are covering on...
For the 40.9?
Yes. For motor vehicles, which we provided the logbooks to the auditor, and the cost is historical. They've not, we've never done.
So Trident can cover a motor vehicle without doing a valuation?
Subject to confirmation, Chairman, I'll need to confirm the underwriter.
No, but you, my friend, we...
Are you an ISPAC fellow?
Yes.
And no ISPAC is here, in this room.
So you're saying your motor vehicle insurance was done without a valuation? And historical cost means, Governor, the car you drive in is a TX, VX, all those acronyms, it's a V8.
The premium chair. The rest are for government.
No, the governor's car, because I believe it was part of those insured.
Or the government one.
Yeah.
Because I only have one vehicle, a premium. The government one is a TX.
Bro, assuming, and I might be inaccurate, because as we buy second-hand ones, assuming a brand new one, let's just process this thought. A brand new one could be what, 20 million?
Yeah, 15 to 20 million.
20 million?
At Toyota Kenya.
With the trims befitting of a governor, it might be.
It's customized.
So, officer, when you talk of historical cost, that is what you mean, the cost at which it was purchased?
Yes, Honorable Chair. That is the cost of purchase.
So that is the basis for you to compute your sum insured.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
But you know that in the insurance industry, motor vehicles depreciate at a fairly, large rate, that a vehicle that was 20 million at purchase, 3-4 years later on, if you insure at 20 million, you're wasting taxpayers' money. And that is why valuation is done. Now, so members, this is a scam. Well, no, let me not call it a scam. A scheme to ensure that the premium is big. Is there an agent or a broker in this arrangement?
Chair, I can confirm that we don't have...
For answers behind. Let's allow him to answer.
From the Director of Procurement.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I'm getting confirmation that this is the insurance company and not a broker.
Is there an agent?
No.
Should we put you under oath?
Chair, I've just noted that the person or the Chief Officer Finance for Kericho County, when they are doing the round of introduction, is not present in the meeting and is the one who...
Governor?
Specific date, because he's sitting for a certain customer exam that is quite difficult to pronounce. It's beyond CPA something, say up something. And let me read it, Chair.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
What about the Chief Officer?
That is the Chief Officer.
That's the Chief Officer.
Yeah,
the Director? He says he's Deputy Director.
The organograph of the County Government of Kericho provide that we have the Chief Officer, and then we have the Director of Accounting, which have not recruited, and substantively in his letter.
Oh, so he's acting.
He's acting, yeah.
Now, members, I don't know whether you understand why Governor have a little bit of experience in the insurance industry, and that's why I am amazed that you would take cover on historical cost without a valuation. It means you are paying probably 50% more than you'd pay in terms of insurance premiums. So why can't your officers push for a proper valuation for insurance purposes? Because historical cost is for asset register purposes in government accounting.
Yeah.
But for insurance, it needs to be on indemnity value.
Chair, because basically what the chair is saying is that Governor, you have bought insurance and paid an amount on whose value you have absolutely no idea. If you are asked, you paid Trident 40 million, but the question is, for a cover of goods worth how much? What Fernandez is explaining is that he cannot tell. It's based on history. And that's what the chair is asking. Is that really a prudent way of managing public resources?
Yeah. Chair, the governor said before Vice Chair comes, so that I don't...
Okay, make it brief, then we go to the Vice Chair.
Even if he drives a premium, which I highly doubt, he must pay certain insurance. That premium must do evaluation before the premium car that is being driven by a governor is paid for. Something he just goes and say, I want to pay 100,000 for my premium for the insurance cover. It must be attached to a certain value that is done by the insurer.
So Chair, what I wanted to ask is, there must have been tendering, competitive bidding that was done. If the bidding was done competitive,
they used some report, an extract of the report which was used for insurance purposes is attached as Annexure 3A. I haven't seen that Annexure 3A.
Where is that reference made?
Is that anywhere in the documents you submitted?
Is it in their written response?
Yeah, it is here.
They're saying about 3A and 3B, but I can't see them anywhere. I can't see any report on insurance.
It's only 3
in your documentation.
Governor, could you point us to that?
Just trying to figure out where
you have said you used the report. Where is that report? There is a report which was used for insurance purposes for the county's assets.
I'm trying to have the accountant lead me into it.
Or are you probably are referring to our earlier report, isn't it? There are earlier written responses, not the current one. Okay. Not the current one. But you have made a point that is useful, because if in March you had annexed that report, then you should be able to answer these questions that we are asking. Governor, it makes you look really bad that you have taken insurance, but you don't know the values of the things you have insured.
Yep.
I think it's a common knowledge in the market. How do you insure a car without knowing its value? How? What are you insuring? Maybe you could be insuring a car worth 2 million, then you get an insurance of 5 million. So where is car worth 2 million, then you get an insurance of 5 million? So where is there is no proof? There is no prudence.
I don't know, and ISPAC will be getting your insights on this, because the question would be, what would a competent accountant do? What would a competent accountant do? What would be the expectation of a member of your institute in that case? The professional expectation.
How do you let this kind of information out to the public? No, it's...
Chair, and the money you are discussing is 40 million plus. So how do you arrive at that 40 million? Is it prudent use of resources? We know Kenyans pay through the nose for taxes, and you go and say, I'll pay insurance 40 million for these assets, which even the report Senator Okongo Mgeni has raised on the extract of the report that was used by the valuation. So this 40 million to me looks like it's not real. It was spent on air in quotes, because if you cannot give us the track on how the 40 million was used, attached to what basis, to what value, then that 40 million, the spending of that 40 million cannot be accounted for.
Do we have a procurement officer in this congregation?
I think she was there.
The lady behind.
And I think she has been there for some time.
Yeah, so to ISPAC, what is your advice? Because your role here is also to help these county officers to know what they are supposed to do.
Members, on the onset, we need to understand that procurement is just a function that facilitates the other activities. So before they procure the insurance for the motor vehicles, what should have happened is that they should have liaised with the other department, in this case the finance department, which is the owner of the assets of the organizations, and therefore they prepare that valuation report that we are talking about. What the senators are mentioning here is that they need to have a record of what we are supposed to insure against. They have a record. Then there is even a classification of all the assets as per the professional requirements, that if a certain asset should fall in a certain class, you rate. So that is mandatory for any professional, that you cannot just ignore something like that. So ordinarily, you cannot just give an arbitrary figure, and we expect the documents to be in place to support that this is an asset A, that the value has been done at the current, because there is always a market value and a forced value. So we are ensuring that the county is able to get value in the event of something happening with that particular asset. So in this case, maybe I'm also lost as to what the professionals were doing in terms of helping the county to come up with a clear record of what they are insuring. So the value for money, we are questioning the value of money, and the procedures have actually been violated in this particular case.
Okay, we'll come back to the underwriter, and where the law says that this committee can even propose debarment of a service provider. But OG, you're the one who did the audit.
Thank you, Chair. When it comes to insurance of assets, two values. There's the cost of the asset, and then when we want to insure that asset, there's what we call valuation for insurance. So even if you bought a new car, the value you're insuring could be less. And the risk is, if you overinsure, then it means you can't get value for compensation in case of any eventuality. Thank you.
As for my knowledge, sake, because this must be mitigated. And if finally EACC finds that there was actual loss of money, then who should be surcharged? Is it the procurement people? Is it the finance guys? Or is it all of them who would be surcharged? Oh, yes, I think.
Chair, I want to raise the issue. Anything to do with procurement is done by the procurement department. Finance and accounts will do the payments after everything else has been done.
Yes, you see?
Chair, to answer the question on matters procurement, when it comes to culpability of funds that have been either misappropriated or spent without justification, it falls on the accounting officer. The responsibility is on the accounting officer.
Okay. Insurance companies are clever because in such a scenario, there's a clause that they put called the average clause. So you can overinsure, but when there's a claim, they will pay you what the actual value was rather than what you had insured. And so that is loss of money. 40 million, I've just checked, is the summation of what you are collecting from markets, vehicle parking fees, and advertising. Collecting all that money and throwing it into insurance. So, Governor, maybe the final word. Do we make the conclusion that you don't have a proper asset valuation?
Chair, I've just been looking at the documents that we briefly submitted, and we have the itemized vehicles and the fair value that was put and the remarks.
And the value is historical cost.
Yes, that's why I'm coming to your chair. This is historical. And then I've also seen what the insurance company quoted here. And the sum insured, the rate, the premium, and the remarks. I agree with you, Chair, that as it is, we've been relying on a valuation which was for a long time done in Kericho, or not current one. And since I put in place a committee to do a proper evaluation, Chair, I request that this committee give me 7 days to do the proper valuation.
Can you confirm, since you have the paperwork, who is the underwriter?
It is called Driden.
Now, clerks, in our report, we must also mention that underwriter and call to question the professionalism and find out whether what they're doing is in line with the Insurance Act. Because that kind of situation, as the auditor has said, there are always two values. There could be some complicity between the underwriter and the entity. So I think let's capture that in observation. Auditor General, this matter again keep in view. We expect that you give us a better update.
I think we didn't capture the whole scenario, but in the current audit, we've captured the whole picture about the interest in the county, and I think it will be in the report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, again, the next issue is retention monies.
Chair, before you go there, I just want to confirm to one member here that indeed I only drive a premium vehicle and I'm minimalist because of what used to have the whole world at lose your soul, Chair. I don't have driving a premium, a big vehicle.
Your responses, which are unprovoked, can lead you into a lot of problems. So let's go back to the numbers, because if you took Cherargei in that direction, this meeting will not end.
And so, that is because in one of the religious meetings, he was saying he has money. He was daring, and I can table that.
That is why I don't want us to get into that conversation.
Yes, and if he goes that direction,
so now
he was saying
the next matter is a matter that formed part of the impeachment proceedings or allegations.
But Chair, money is also relative because you can't measure the much you have. Maybe much for me is 1,000.
Order, Governor.
And my for Cherargei is a
Governor, if you want us to proceed with this meeting, allow me to drive it. Otherwise, it's going to terminate at this point. Retention monies. Retention monies. OIG, the queries that you addressed there, were they resolved? Retention monies. I remember this came up several times during the impeachment proceedings. The aging analysis was lacking. Breakdown was not provided for audit.
It was not cleared.
To date?
Yeah, it's not.
Even up to now, it is not clear.
Yeah, because, sorry, Chair, I have to take you back. These documents, when they brought, we had the confusion about what report we had to discuss, they had brought some documents, but for this one, it was not brought. Thank you.
I think it's of public interest for us to probe this a little bit. Governor, you may tell us what action you have taken to ensure the breakdown of reconciliation of retentions and deposits of 76 million. It's really about visibility and transparency of that. We were all present when certain allegations were made. Those allegations are not in this report. So what we deal with now is just reconciliation and a proper schedule and an assurance that you are paying the right people, an assurance that you are paying when payments are due, and an assurance that you are not borrowing from these deposits and retentions account to do other things. Is that assurance in your written response?
The county government acknowledges the committee's observations and recommendations regarding the supported deposit balance of 76 million appreciation. The following measures have been undertaken and institutionalized. Number one, the county government has commenced a complete reconciliation of the deposit and retention ledger, which includes preparing a detailed aging analysis of all deposit and retentions. Number two, linking each balance to specific contracts, suppliers, or performance guarantees. This exercise is ongoing, and to this end, the CCF Finance has appointed a team to oversee development of master register for retention money, as shown in Annex 50. But then the accountant tells me that, let me ask the accountant to say something on it.
Okay, please proceed. Quite fast because of time.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We have instituted this rules touching on retention, and now we are maintaining a retention register and a control ledger for each department. That is what we have done. Thank you.
My main worry is this. If you see, when you pay a contractor, the retention, isn't it deducted automatically? The withholding tax?
Yeah, it is.
There are certain deductions that are processed in the system.
Yes.
So if the deductions can be processed in the system, isn't it possible to click a button and say, I want to get a statement of deposits and retentions?
That report is now when you go to the bank statement, individual lines. Which
now, you lose us. Now, you lose us, even though I'm still with you. When you make that, even though I'm still with you, when you make that payment to contractor called Chirarge and Son of a road, 6% is retained. Is it 6%? Is it 6%?
10.
It's 10%. 10% is retained. The source, at the point at which that 10% is retained, it's in IFMIS, isn't it? So you can have a lease tractor where 10% was retained as retention, isn't it? As retention, isn't it? So why do you need to set up another committee?
So it's a very easy exercise.
Help us understand. I know you are bringing in the IB complications, which sometimes tells you that you retain from supplier X, but use the amount to pay supplier Y. Auditor.
Thank you. Maybe they get it wrong because they don't do the retention as it should be done. Because as accounted, they should be having what we call a deposit account, whereby once they do the retention, they pay that money to that deposit account. But since they
like a statutory remittance.
Yes, they have their own bank account where when we check the bank balance versus the retentions, they have to be equal. But that
76 million.
Yes.
Where did you see it? I
it's
thought it was
in the financial statements. Isn't the financial statements?
It was not in an account.
Yes. It's
so,
not.
Governor, is that money there?
Yes,
or
we have
borrowed it for something
we have a
else?
deposit account and the money is there.
Why didn't the auditor see it? They've only seen it on the statements, but not in the account.
There are usually bank balances in your financial statements. Are you able to show us the bank, the account, and the balance on it? Because if we don't deal with this, your members of county assembly gave an impression that the management of deposits and retentions falls below the requirements of the law. This would be your opportunity to confirm that you're doing the right thing. But what I'm hearing is that you're setting up a committee to review something that does not need a committee.
Because we chair can confirm that we have a deposit account and all the retentions go to that account. And what I know is that we pay them on an aging procedure.
So, officer, usually disclose balances, bank balances, accounts and balances. Are you able to demonstrate to us that that 76 million is somewhere?
Chair, just another further thing, the CC also has something on it.
Chair, I happen to have served as an accountant in the ministry long before I came to Parliament. And when I was moved to Treasury in Kericho County, I found it a bit absurd the way retention is being done. To every retention, because the official receipts are still there, and those are we want to issue an official receipt to every contractor whose 10% has been deducted. For purposes of now, when you are claiming, you come with the original, so that we will know this is so and so, it has been paid, rather than relying on the systems. The systems can also mislead. So I thought we should be having a tangible thing.
So, you are telling us we forget about the system, we go to your master register.
No, we need both there, so that the system will be speaking together with the master register. So that it is easy even for me to look at it and say, you are paying so and so. Where is it entered? I will see it in the master
Why are you
register.
guys over-engineering a very simple thing? It's over-engineering. Were you using IFMIS in those days?
We were not using IFMIS then.
Yeah, so there is.
We are using manual.
There is IFMIS now. Don't take Kericho back to your days of manual, please. The direction must be IFMIS. And if you are to use IFMIS, it does not matter whether it was processed in a department or in a sub-department, because it is a centralized system. I used to build systems in my past, so I'm wondering why this cannot work. Senator Cheriot, surely. You know your senator is the leader of the entire house. We shall report that in Kericho, they are moving away from IFMIS back to manual registers.
No, we are not moving away from IFMIS. I'm saying for ease of reference, let us have a master register that we can easily verify, even with the system.
You are very lucky Sifuna is not here. He would have reminded you a few things about Chebukati. Now, so what we are being told is that there is some progress.
Yes. But Chair, looking at the financial statement, if you look at the financial statement, that is note number 13A, in 2023 there was, is it the most recurrent on this 76,768,907? Does it reflect the entire retention that is in the deposit? Or what is the cure that Rob wants to cure? If you look at note number 13A, 26 million has been captured. It is only the current plus the past in terms of these retention deposits. Is that the reason he wants to prepare the master?
I also don't know what he wants to cure, because...
And then it is unwritten.
There is a note 15 in the financial statement. What just lacked was aging, and that was not provided. If you just provided, then everything would be okay. So this thing of decentralizing, each department having its register, then now you are centralizing the register, I don't think it washes. What we're just asking for is, we have cited money in the retention account, but there is no aging analysis. There is no reconciliation. We don't know the breakdown of which contractors are owed that money. I think it was very simple.
Right.
So this thing, we're trying to cure something that is not there.
Not is to do something it cannot do.
Chair, I don't think if Meso opened the bank account, generally what is supposed to be done, when you pay a contractor, there is the 10%. It's supposed to be removed from the development bank account to deposit bank account. The county should be telling us deposit account in the bank as this much. It consists of this number of contractors who are retaining their money. That is the only way we can know that is retention or not retention. But I don't think the system, if Meso only have the figure which is in the bank.
So we just for progress, because we have had the county assembly raise allegations of utilization of deposits and retentions account. I would have hoped that we would get clarity today before the Senate. Unfortunately, we have reached a similar conclusion because your officers say that they are still in the process of reconciling. So we may agree broadly with the assembly without necessarily agreeing with the specific details that they presented to us. Senator
This one might enrich your ruling. When you look at note number 15, deposits and retention, in 2023, 76768 was the current one. And you look at aging analysis, under 1 year it was 76, but the rest of 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, in the previous year it was 91 million. So where did the retention, was it paid out, or what happened to 91 million, 646,566? If you look at that, so would it add to 76, 91 million?
It raises a lot of questions, so let's allow the...
And there is no clarity.
Let's allow the OAG to keep it in view, reporting it in this current year. If you are not able to get the details, then this again will be referred for investigation and prosecution. So that applies to anything headed unsupported. Unsupported domestic travel and subsistence allowance. Auditor General, keep that in view. If you can't get the supporting documentation, hand it over to the EACC. Let's deal with non-collection of on-source revenue. That will allow us to have some conversations on ROR. Auditor General, I think just read out your finding there. It is an interesting story. Then we... No. Non-collection of on-source revenue. 6. As we interrogate, we'll make references to the ROR report.
Thank you, Chair. Non-collection of on-source revenue. 6.1, unauthorized operation of mobile money payments. The statement of receipts and payments reflects transfer from the county revenue fund of 5,913,233,097 as disclosed in Note 1 to the financial statements. The amount includes exchequer releases and on-source revenue appropriated by the county assembly to fund the county executive. Records reveal the revenue collected by the receiver of revenue excluded on-source revenue from inspection fee for fire compliance. An inspection fee of 3,500 was levied in the Finance Act for the period but was not being collected at the time by the county government. An officer of the county government, however, registered and operated a mobile payment number which was not authorized by the county treasurer to collect the fee. The statement for the number indicates credit entries of 152,290 and debit entries of 141,852 for the period 24th January 2024 up to 5th August 2024. Internal investigations on the matter recommended disciplinary action on the officer. However, collection of on-source revenue and transfer to the county executive was understated by the amount not collected. In the circumstances, the regret of cash collected through mobile payment number could not be confirmed. Thank you.
Clerk, what was our observation and recommendation?
Chairman, the committee recommended the county governor undertakes administrative
Start with observation.
Okay, the committee observed that whereas disciplinary action is commendable, the county executive did not indicate whether the uncollected or misappropriated funds of Kenya shillings 152.90 credited and 141.8 debited have been recovered or properly accounted for. The committee was also concerned that an unauthorized mobile payment number can get registered and operated by a county officer without Treasury's approval.
Therefore, we recommended.
And therefore, the committee recommended that the governor undertakes administrative actions against the officer who failed to provide documents to the Auditor General during the audit process and provide the status report to the Auditor General within 60 days of the adoption of this report. The committee also recommends that the DCI investigates the unauthorized collection of Kenya shillings 152.90 by a county staff, and where criminality is established, refer the matter to the Director of Public Prosecutions to the DPP. The committee further recommends that the Auditor General audits the outstanding matter in the subsequent audit cycle.
Governor, this is quite a sensitive matter, so I'll allow you to read your written response so that we do not misunderstand you.
The Honorable Chairman, the County Executive appreciates the committee's keen observation regarding the non-collections of inspection fees for fire compliance and the related issues of unauthorized mobile payment registration. We acknowledge these observations raise integrity, oversight, and compliance with established financial management controls. Upon internal review, it was established that an officer irregularly registered and operated a mobile payment number that was not sanctioned by the county government. The said number received credit entries amounting to shillings 152,290 and a debit entry of Kenya shillings 141,852 between 24th January and 5th August 2024. In response to this matter, the county government undertook the following corrective and administrative actions. Number one, disciplinary action. The officer involved was subjected to a due disciplinary process in accordance with the county human resource policies and public service commission regulations, culminating in termination of service. A copy of the dismissal letter has been provided in Appendix 6. Number two, strengthening of revenue controls. To forestall recurrence of similar incidents, when the report came, this was a ward administrator. His name is called Jesimet. And when the report came to me, we immediately instructed the Public Service Board to take action because the County Act provides guidelines on disciplining any culpable officer. So the County Public Service Board undertook their processes and found that indeed the officer was culpable, and he was dismissed. He is no longer a staff of the county government of Kericho County.
What about the, and I think that's what ought to happen, even though there's a criminality aspect of it, which, Patrick, isn't this one of those you are discussing with the liaison at DCI to find out what action has been taken from the criminal aspect?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, so from the criminal aspect?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay, so we can wait for your advice on that. There was a other leg to it about the inspection fee of 3,500, which was levied but not reported. Was this addressed, Auditor?
It wasn't. Because ordinarily what should have happened before even they dismissed the officer, they should have looked for ways of recovering this money which was collected outside the system, and maybe come up with measures which can bar anybody in future to operate a system, because this system could not be detected. So the measures put in place should be maybe brought to us.
Ni vile tu wakora hawataisha Kenya. You'll always find those cases. They'll be dismissed, but then they should also be pursued to the full extent.
Chair, I want to believe this administrator might have been in service. And I would have expected the governor saying, apart from being dismissed, there was as a charge to recover, maybe from that man's salary or any allowances that maybe the county government owed. So that even if it was not sufficient. And then secondly, Chair, before he answers that, you know that the headline is non-collection of one source revenue. So I don't know where would have that we receive of revenue, so that was a further question when you say.
Because of time.
Yeah, in fact, I want to agree with Gerard Gay that we focus on this one of what is the proper title?
When you look
non-collection. I think this matter has been properly addressed. If you check the annexure that has been attached, 6 has been dismissed and that money will be recovered. So I think that's fair enough. What's more important, Chair, let's focus on the OSR.
Because I wanted to ask a further question of this non-collection. We'll be tied up with the own source revenue.
So we say we focus on non-collection of on-source revenue. So the first question was the inspection fee of 3,500 was levied but not collected. So we need to know, was it levied and not collected, or levied but collected but not reported? Auditor General, you need to advise us.
Yeah, the fee was collected but not reported because
it was collected.
Because it went to the officer. So that was collected.
Oh, it is the 157.
Yes.
Oh, so that this 3,500 is tied to.
Yes.
Okay. Now we now need to deal with the ROR. Let's come back to the ROR, and officers, I hope the governor has a detailed ROR statement. This is your statement. Your county receiver of revenue is George Kirer. Is George here?
No, he's the one that
Yes, he's out. He's the one doing exams.
Yes.
The reports were co-signed by Bernard Kipkurui Koros. Bernard is here.
Is here.
Okay, and is the one who attached his ISPAC member number. Governor, I know you wanted to talk about how revenue has grown in Kericho. But before we give you that opportunity, could you tell us why vehicle parking fees dropped